I wanted to show the new 617 and how it's used and how it works. I think quite a few people have been asking about it. It's gone down really well so far. So I just wanted to give a nice quick overview of what it is, what it does, and how you use it. So basically, this is the full camera, if you like. This at the moment, this one has a Schneider super angular 90mm f8 mounted. It's a Compure Zero lens board on my standard smooth metal helicoid. These lens boards are my standard lens boards, so they're all threaded, so lenses can be switched directly between all my cameras. So you've got compatibility between, depending on which model you're using and which one you got with you. The lens cone itself is secured using 8 very strong neodymium magnets, as well as a manual latch on the side which fits into a slot in the side of the cone. So there's no worry about any kind of accidentally knocking it off in your bag or anything like that. To be fair, the magnets are the same magnets that I've always used on the backs of all my field cameras, so the Carbon Adventurer and the Advanced and the Snapshots. So they're not going anywhere. But it's just an added feature of the manual lock. This is now standard on all of my medium format cameras. On the top plate, we've got 3 standard size cold shoes. These can be used for frame finders like the ones I manufacture, or your own range finders, viewfinders, light meters, anything like that. You can see the middle one has got a bubble level that's visible in the center. When I remove the film back in a little while, I'll show you that the bubble level actually stays in place, so you can use that when you frame with the ground glass as well. It's got a standard grip on the right hand side with a hole for the cable release to go through. Coming around to the top, the winding knobs are aluminium sprung knobs, so you lift to load or unload the film. There's also a dark slide built into the camera. So the dark slide allows you to remove the film holder mid-roll. Obviously you get 4 shots through a roll on 617. So being able to remove the back and put the ground glass in, which is down there in the velvet bag, allows you to properly focus and compose your frames mid-roll. I will also be offering the film back separately, so you could, if you wanted to, you could carry a colour film in one and black and white in another. Just drop that back. Around the back, we've got a standard red window for winding. It's a central window, so you will wind on to 36912 on the film back, on the backing paper for your frame spacing. There's also a film reminder window, 2 rear grips. I'll show why there's 2 in a moment. And on the side, you've got a little indent for putting your thumb in for opening the back. So when you do that, the door is secured with strong magnets embedded in the side, so that won't open accidentally. There's nothing sort of raised off the side, so it's not going to catch on anything. So on the back, we've got a velvet pressure plate on the film to keep it flat. And obviously, again, you can see the dark slide in place there on the film back. And there you go, door shut. On the bottom, you've got a standard tripod mount, 1/4 inch. To remove the film back, you actually need 2 hands. It's secured with 6 magnets. You've got 4 in the top plate on the underside and 2 underneath the film back. So it's very secure, it's not going to slide off, it's not going anywhere. You actually use 2 hands to lift. You literally just push it up from the bottom. Obviously I've just got 1 hand here, so I've already lifted it off the magnet, so you just slide it off the top with the dark slide in place, obviously, so your film is secure inside the holder. And you've now got the standard camera body. And you can see on the top the bubble level is still visible in the top, which is the one you could see through the cold tube before. So we've now got the camera ready to use the ground glass. The back is latched on the top and bottom, so there's no issue with it flexing backwards or moving away from the film plane, so it ensures that your images are sharp and it matches the ground glass. Okay, the ground glass unit itself is again printed, but it's an actual glass. It's custom cut for these cameras. This one has a Fresnel fitted underneath to give you a brighter image, and again, this is secured with the latches. There's a securing latch on the bottom and one on the top edge, and it literally just drops in place. So now your ground glass is in place And if you look down there, you can see we've got an image on screen. I will cut to with a dark cloth so you can see that better for composing. So into the ground glass focusing. So it works like a normal field camera, except obviously the focusing is done with a helicoid, like SLR. You can pre-mark preferred focus distances on the white ring around the helicoid, so you're able to zone focus if you don't want to use the ground glass. But the ground glass itself is a nice bright screen. This one has a Fresnel fitted under it. Okay, once you've composed your frame, so you're happy with it, obviously like a large format camera, you would close the shutter on your lens. Always remember to do that before you reload your film and pull out the dark slide. Everyone does it once. To remove the ground glass, you literally just lift it up, and again it detaches from the camera, and you can then take your film holder, your film back, which is a separate unit, and just slot that into place, and that's now secured in place. Magnet hold it in, it's going nowhere. Obviously, as I say, make sure your shutter is closed again before you would pull out the dark slide, and now you're ready to expose your frame by setting the relevant shutter speed and aperture on the shutter, and then trip it with a cable release or by hand. So yeah, so that's the 617. It weighs just over 400 grams without a lens co. It's a nice lightweight handheld option if you want to zone focus. You don't need to use the ground glass, but it's an added option. Compatibility with lenses, basically it's lenses that would need to cover a larger image circle than a standard 4x5. So generally it's lenses designed for 5x7 frames. So basically anything from, there are 65mm Schneider up to, I recommend at most about 180mm, only because a longer lens uses a longer cone. So any longer than that, and it'll start to feel a little bit sort of front heavy. I recommend that with all my cameras really. If you wanted to use a much longer lens, you'd be better off using something like a snapshot with traditional bellows and spacer bars. It's a different type of camera for a lens that long then. So yeah, so that's the 617. I hope this helps understand its sort of usage and what it does, what it is, and yeah, let me know any comments. Cheers.